What is going on YouTube? This is Eric Hutz for the win, and I'm going to be talking about the next Gears of War. It feels pretty damn refreshing to say that. I'm very excited just thinking about it. Trying to keep my expectations in check, but as a big Gears of War fan, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are too, I mean, my channel just started on Gears of War. That was my main focus, and so to have it coming back and to have that chance of it taking over my life again it makes me happy. Of course, I'm going to keep all my expectations in check. There's a lot I still need to see. We're going to at least see a tease or something at E3. I'm hoping to at least get some kind of idea of what the story is going to be about. That's number one for me. I need to know which characters are involved. That's a huge one for me. But Rod Ferguson, I guess he tweeted this week that there's not going to be a Marcus Fenix collection, and instead they're going to just focus on E3, which is good news to me. I know a lot of other Gears fans were tweeting saying that it's a relief. They're happy because now all the attention goes on the next Gears of War, and I'm with you guys. I'm happy. I would have welcomed a Marcus Fenix collection of some kind, but it's not bad that they're not doing it, not in my opinion. So anyways, I wanted to talk about the next Gears of War and kind of some things that I want to see in it. I'm actually writing an article right now about it, so I figured why not just do a video on the side and talk about the same thing. There's a few things that are really important to me that I really want to put out there, that these are the things I want in the next Gears of War. And if they can do this for me, Black Tusk, if you're out there, if you're listening, if you can do this, I will be a very happy camper. So let's just get into this. I have a list here. It's not too big. There's still a bunch of things I could add in here, but I didn't want to write for days. So this is my list so far. Number one is probably the most important one to all of us, and that is to stay as clear away from judgment as you can, Black Tusk. That is a request I'm sure I'm speaking for everyone about. We want this done, okay? We do not want to see Judgment 2. We do not want to see anything that mimics that game. We just want to forget it, okay? I specifically talked about in the article how Judgment was kind of colorful in some instances. I really love the original Gears of War look, that grimy, dark, grungy look. I've said this many times. They need to go back to that. I love that. That's what made a lot of us fall in love with the game in the first place. Just seeing it for the first time, those graphics and what it did for the time it came out. It was just awesome, especially when that Berserker came out. If you could bring some kind of, level or boss like that where it's just fast-paced, your heart's racing, you got this huge monster chasing you, and it was just such an awesome thing to see. So if they could bring back some bosses like that or some moments like that, I would just be really happy. As for the multiplayer, that's pretty damn easy. We don't want the locusts taken away. When they announced that there was not going to be locusts in Judgment, the whole Gears community just flipped. I mean, it was such a shock, and we could not wrap our heads around that. That was just awful. I remember making a video about that, and I was just stunned. I mean, we were all stunned at that news. So definitely don't do that. And of course, go more bare-boned. I really loved Gears of War because it was so simple. There wasn't a whole lot of guns. There was, there were power weapons, but they were very important. I remember in Gears of War 2 specifically, that torque bow was everything on Blood Drive. I remember that and the sniper, how it would rotate. We all went for that weapon because it meant more. When you oversaturate the game with tons of power weapons, where each team just has a shot at getting some of them, it takes away that importance of that power weapon, in my opinion. I think you need to go less power weapons and just less all around. This was another thing I requested, and that is less is more. Have less weapons, have less unlockables, less skins, less things that are supposed to be incentives to keep playing. But Judgment, they had tons of stuff. There was prize boxes, there were skins, there were all these things that we unlocked constantly, and you would think that would make us keep playing, but in the end it actually made us play less. So more is not always better, okay? That's something very important to remember. I just think the simplicity of Gears of War is what we loved. We really loved that challenge of working with what we got. Everybody had the same weapons, the same shot at getting that power weapon like I before mentioned, and it just made the game so much more competitive, so much more fun, and it was just addictive to try and get better against your opponents because everybody was at the same level. Nobody was, camping with boom shot right off the bat. Judgment was horrible. You would be able to, I don't remember which map it was. I don't even remember what the maps were called in that game, but I remember one team would automatically get the sniper and then the other team would automatically get the boom shot, or that other gun, I don't even remember what it's called, the one you would just shoot and it would bounce and then explode things. That was horrible. You need to have just that one specific power weapon. Let both teams go at it. That's what makes Gears so good. So less is definitely more. Another one I have in my list is bring back the original Horde mode. That 50 waves, just action that we loved from the past. I remember the Dark Corners maps when they came out for the Gears of War 2. That was some of the best times I ever had with any Gears of War because of the Horde mode. It was just awesome. I remember those achievements. They were kind of hard to get because those waves just got intense, and I remember I was playing just with my cousin, so it was only two of us, but we had a blast, and that was some of my fondest memories with Gears of War. Those achievements that I got for those Horde, those maps on Horde mode, that was some of my proudest achievements that I ever had on my Xbox 360. So I would love to see Horde come back with a vengeance, be a real centric part of the game again. Now it just kind of seems like it's not really there anymore. Judgment changed it. They called it survival or something like that, and it just wasn't the same. So I would love to see Horde mode make its return big time. Another one is destructible environments. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, this was way back. If you were on YouTube like in 2007 or 8, I remember before Gears of War 2 came out, there was a tech demo that they uploaded, and I can't find it anymore. I don't know what happened to it. It's been a long time. They probably took it down. But I specifically remember they were shooting the torque bow into the ground, and it just blew up a huge chunk of the floor, and you could see the level below. It was awesome. I could just imagine that in a multiplayer setting where you're blowing up the floor and you're creating, maybe walls that fall down on an enemy or something like that. That would be awesome. And I guess the technology back then, it wasn't capable of achieving this, but now I would think this could be a real thing. With the Xbox One, they can try and attempt some destructible environments. I would love to see that, especially with the power weapons like the boom shot, like torque bow, like I said. Maybe if you're behind cover and someone has the boom shot and they shoot that cover and that cover just explodes and it's not there anymore, that would be awesome. So we'll see what happens. I know that E3 is probably going to be our first sneak peek at what's going on with this game. A lot of people are skeptical, and I understand. After Judgment, it's really easy to be skeptical because that was such a disaster. For me though, I'm kind of saving hope for this game. I really think Black Tusk and Rod Ferguson, leading them, can really put together a solid game. Much better than Judgment. That's at least one thing I'm sure we can all agree on. It can't get any worse than that. But the question, I guess, is how good will this game be? We know it will be decent. It could be decent. But how decent? How good? That's really the question. How long will we want to keep playing this game? What is going to be so great about this game? What, is going to keep us playing? I think that's the main question. And the more we see of it, I think the more we'll get a better grasp at that answer. But for now, all we can really do is just speculate and guess, what this game is going to be about, because we really don't know anything right now. And hopefully E3 will kind of give us a good idea of what's going on with this game. And give us some anticipation. That's really what I'm hoping for E3. I just want to anticipate and kind of get excited. Yeah, so I'm curious what you guys think about this, especially if you're a big gearhead and you've been watching my channel for a while, since I was uploading, a bunch for Gears of War 3. And before that, I wasn't really into YouTube as much, so I really wish I would have had more Gears of War 2 footage and stuff like that, but it just didn't happen that way. But I loved Gears of War 2 the most, especially, for the multiplayer and the story too. That's my favorite part of the story. If it can be as close to Gears of War 2, if I had to make a wish and it would come true, I'd say be like Gears of War 2, just next generation, and make it look beautiful, and I would just, you know, fall in love again. So that's what I'm hoping for, but I know that's a lot to ask, but if I'm just saying, if I had one wish, and I'm just curious what you guys think, you know, what's on your list of things you want to see in the next Gears of War, especially if you're an OG Gears head, if you've been playing since the first one, you know, what is it that you want to see? Let me know in the comments section, and thank you guys so much for watching. I know sometimes I go a little MIA at times, and that's just because I'm planning a wedding right now. Just in case you don't know, I am getting married in about 7 weeks, so it's getting pretty crazy. I'm sure you guys can understand if I, you know, only put up one video a week or something like that. That is why. So until then, you know, it's going to be really busy, but after that, I'm sure I'll get back in the groove of, you know, writing more, making more videos, streaming, and all of that good stuff this summer. It'll happen. So just stay tuned for that, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.